Reppin' Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. PhillyGoat.com is your one stop shop for Philly pride. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Look fresh, stay Philly, Philly Goat. Go Birds. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Brotherly Birds Breakdown. We are the Montgomery Brothers. I'm Jim.
I'm Kyle. What's going on?
And we're here this week for Week 10, a little Monday Night Football against the Packers. Hopefully everybody is well rested after the bye week. We were here, though. We don't take any bye weeks off. But what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Busy week, right? Busy week.
I was going to say, for a bye week, it was pretty busy. We might as well jump right into it. Howie was doing Howie things the entire week.
Listen, I said this last night on the shout out to the Clashing Conferences on the Clashing Conferences members pod, but I said this last night. If you're another GM in the league and you look at your phone on trade deadline time and you see Howie Roseman calling you, why are you answering? Like, at this point, why are you answering the phone? Because like, it really is. I think it's like Jedi mind tricks that he's doing. Like, you will give me this draft pick, or you will give me this player for this draft pick. You're right. That is the draft pick I want for that guy. Like, at this point, I don't understand why people continue to deal with him. I love it as an Eagles fan, but like, man, it's a relationship thing. It has to be. Like, he keeps going back to the same well with some of these same teams, which is good for him. Good for him. But man, he's a busy guy around these times, and I love it because unlike what we've seen before with the Phillies and the Sixers, like, they're actually not standing pat. Like, they're not content with what they're doing. They want to get better. Yeah, they want to get better. So, kudos to Howie for that.
No, and I mean, we talked about Michael Carter the second last week, so we can kind of skip over him. But I mean, I would have been happy if that was the only move. But then he went out and traded for Jair Alexander, who I wanted as a free agent this offseason, kind of struggled a little bit in Baltimore. I guess he was injured and then couldn't get on the field. And when he did, it wasn't good. But I mean, I think this is one of those low risk, high reward moves that he does. He is a vet, so he's going to help Q out. He's going to help Cooper out. I mean, they got Michael Carter under contract for another year or two, at least, so be able to help them out. I mean, I think just even if he doesn't play at all, I think from a leadership perspective, it's a great move.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can call Michael Carter. The reason why he went by Michael Carter II was because the Jets then drafted another Michael Carter, the running back. Right. So since we only have one of them, we'll just call him Michael Carter, or Mr. Carter if we want. Shout out Wheezy.
Remember the nose tackle Michael Carter? Is he related to him by any chance?
He might be. Maybe that's his dad. I don't know. I never looked at it. I never looked it up. I didn't do my research on Michael Carter II. But
just thought of it when you mentioned that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? So you touched on exactly what it is. It's low risk, high reward. But the key part of this is it adds depth. So everybody is looking at these moves from Howie and going, these guys can't be plugged in right away and they're not starters. So, like, I don't understand these moves. Yeah, but that's not always what Howie does. Howie looks at the next step. He looks 2 steps ahead. And what happens if somebody gets injured, right? What happens if Makuba gets injured? Then who do you put at safety? Oh, you can slide Cooper back there. And then you have Adoree Jackson, Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, and Jair Alexander. One of them is going to be the other cornerback. And hopefully Michael Carter then can slide into the slot, and boom, you're fixed, right? So I don't think everybody was anticipating Howie to make this blockbuster trade for a Pro Bowl cornerback. Teams aren't getting rid of Pro Bowl cornerbacks. And the ones that they are, the Jets giving up Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks, got fleeced. Like, the Jets won that trade 110%. And the Jets are set up. Look, I don't know that GM's name, but that GM is going to be a household name if he screws up these next 2 years for the Jets. 5 first
Well,
round picks.
but
Whew,
the Jets are gonna I mean, we saw Cleveland does it every year.
I
So,
know.
the
I know.
Jet did you see the
I
kid
just,
crying a couple weeks ago? He was like, "I
yes.
like the Jets. This is
Yeah.
my destiny." I mean,
Yep.
they're gonna screw it up, right?
Yeah. I mean, all signs point to it. And look, their first round pick is going to be the number one overall pick, more
Yeah.
than likely. So you didn't really need the other ones, but now you're benefiting that you can stack your team. I just the thing that cracked me up was they go and I know this is our Eagles, Bob, but like the Chiefs called about Brees Hall and they're like, we'll give you a fourth. And they're like, nah, we want a third. Like, really? That's the hill you're gonna die on? Like, you've already traded away two of your studs on defense, but you're like, nah, for Brees Hall, we want a third. And Brees Hall's out there going, please trade me.
Please trade me.
Somebody get me out of here. So for a third and fourth round pick, when you already got 5 first round picks the next 2 years,
Yeah.
you're gonna die on that hill. I'm like, man, and he's gonna be disgruntled the rest of the year. You
Oh,
know,
100%. And then poor, what you call it, Garrett Wilson is hurt and he's like, comes back this week. He's like, "Where'd everybody go?"
it's like the Fresh Prince meme where he's in the living room just looking around at no furniture, no nothing, going, what the hell just happened? But
No,
yeah,
but I do. I mean, I like that move a lot. I know people are like, "Oh, he's washed up, he's this," but maybe so. But right now, Jair Alexander off the street has to be better than Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo, or at least like you have an extra body just in case you need it.
right.
Which, with the way Dory Jackson and Bennett both keep getting hurt, who you're going to
And
need them.
maybe it's if he's not better, maybe it'll light a fire under one of them to be better, right? I mean,
Right.
look, Keely Ringo he can be serviceable. The problem is he's not consistent enough. That's the problem. He can make good plays, but then he also gets burnt. So the problem with cornerbacks is if you lose a step, you're done. Like that's it. You're done. Right? We saw it with Bradbury.
I was
Bradbury
going to say, Mr. Bradbury.
he was a pro bowl cornerback in 22, 23. He couldn't even sniff the field basically. So um look, at the end of the day, I mean, they're solid moves. Jalen Phillips, I mean,
Well, that's not to be funny. That's the big fish, I think, of the entire trade deadline.
nice move,
See what I
nice
did there?
move, nice move. I like it. I like it. Um, yeah, I mean, you got Jalen Phillips, and let's not forget about the fact that they signed BG, right? BG's there, so I don't think they signed BG just for a character issue or character concern in the locker
No.
room. I think they signed BG because he can actually contribute. So I think the rotation that they're going to have on the defensive line now with Jalen Phillips, BG, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, and then the guys inside. I mean, I am kind of anxious to see like is Ty Robinson going to actually play this year? Like, can he do anything? Like, what's going on there? Like, he was a highly touted draft pick. Like, we thought, man, he's going to come in and be a beast. Barely played. He's been non-existent basically all year. So I don't
But do
think
you
he's been
think
hurt
that's
either.
not picking up the system or Vic being like, you know how Vic is. Vic's like, you got to get your shit together or else you're not sniffing my field.
I think it's more Vic than anything else because we know the guy can play. That
Yeah.
the tape shows it. So, you know, I just I will say like the trade deadline has made me appreciate Howie more than any other GM that we've ever had in Philadelphia. Maybe outside of Pat Croce. I mean, Pat Croce when he was with the Sixers he was a lovable guy. I mean,
Wheeling and
he was
dealing.
wheeling and
Yeah.
dealing, just always wanted to make the team better and it's going to lead me into my 2 cents about Howie this week. I know Howie's you're a teacher, we have kids in school, right? They're an A student, but sometimes they fail a test or they do get a bad grade on a test. Howie's an A plus GM, but this whole off season, he's a C student, right? He's gotten a C this whole off season because he's made some bad moves and he invested in some younger players that just haven't panned out, right?
Right.
Um, but the thing that I love about Howie and the thing that I think the league hates about Howie is the fact that he's not too stubborn to sit there and go, well, they're my moves. It just has to work out, make it work. No, he's like, shit, that didn't
I
work
messed
out.
up.
I messed up. He takes accountability. He admits mistakes and he fixes it. He goes out and attempts to fix it. So he went into the offseason knowing that there was a hole or a potential hole at cornerback two. We talked about it in the preseason. We talked about it every week since, right? He saw Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson aren't the guy. Like, they're not. So he
No,
tried to trade for Jacorian Bennett. Thought Jacorian Bennett was going to be the guy. Then he got hurt. Is Jacorian Bennett still potentially that guy? Yeah, he could potentially still
he
be that
should.
guy,
Yeah,
but if he stays on the field, right? Um, but instead of him banking on that, he went out and made two other moves. Good for him, right? Good for him. He took accountability for what he didn't see. Then he put a lot of faith in Jalen Hunt this year to be better and be a second year guy. Still picking up the system, and he was still a project, right? They drafted him as like a project.
he was drafted as a project.
Correct. So is he doing well this year? I think he's doing okay. But is he the impact guy to replace Josh Sweat? No. So what did Howie do? Realize that he made a mistake, went out and yeah, he gave up a third round pick for basically a mid year rental. But we all know Howie's not dumb, right? So whether Howie's going to come out publicly and admit this or not is probably for you or me to never understand and never know. I guarantee you, yeah, Howie made a conversation with that guy's agent, with Jalen Phillips' agent, and said, "Do you think there's a chance that we can re-sign him?"
Right. But the other thing is too, they're in line to possibly not for the 26 draft, I don't think, for the 27 draft, get a third round compensatory pick if he does sign somewhere else.
It may be third. It's more than likely it'll be a fourth, but still, I mean, it's still an extra draft pick. And I don't think Howie makes these moves based on that, based on the potential of the draft pick. He wants
No.
these guys to do great. But I think he looked at it going, he's 26. If he balls out, we'll get a compensatory pick because he'll probably go somewhere and sign him. We're not going to probably pay him a shit ton of money because of the Achilles injury, the ACL injury, and stuff like that, right? But that's still Howie making moves and giving Vic the tools that he needs to do. And one
Yep.
quote that I heard Howie say that stood out to me, and I want to get your take on this. He said he doesn't want to live with regret. So do you want your GM to not make moves because he fears giving up draft picks, or do you and then in the offseason go, damn, I was one player away from winning a Super Bowl. I guess I could have given up that second, third round pick that we had.
Yep.
Or do you want your GM to go out there and go, screw it. We got a chance to repeat and be in the legacy of the NFL right now as one of the few teams to go back to back. Let's go for it.
Let's
Let's
do
let's
it.
make a move and let's try it, right? So
100% agree. And to me, and it's still sometimes controversial when I bring this guy up, but now that we're kind of out of the dead zone that he put us in, Ruben Amaro Jr., the Phillies were World Series contenders every year for that reason. He was like, I'm going for it, whether it was Hunter Pence, Roy Oswalt, um, bringing back Cliff Lee,
yep,
signing Roy Halladay. And then look, it didn't work out, but I would rather sit here and say, damn, Ruben messed up our farm system for like 10 years and didn't win another World Series because of it than say, man, Cliff Lee could have come back. Hunter Pence was available. Roy Oswalt was available. So, I mean, and I think at the time we all hated Ruben for what he did because all the guys got old. But I like that how he's doing this. You don't have windows and opportunities like that. Like 2017, there was no way we were going back to win the Super Bowl in 2018, no matter what. We lost too much. I mean, that was a fun team, and I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, they were one Alshon Jeffrey miss from going back to the NFC Championship game." They weren't going to beat who was it that year? The Rams, right?
the Rams. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Rams.
they weren't beating the Rams out in LA. But I mean, so to have the chance where right now you're the top seed in the NFC, you just got better. maybe not significantly, but from a depth perspective, you got better. Who cares? Like you said, who cares about a third round pick that I can trade a seventh round pick and pick up a third round pick or however he does whatever the charts or whatever says. But yeah, I would much rather go for it than 20 years from now on my podcast go, and then Howie didn't make this move and
Yep. Yep.
this team ended up winning the Super Bowl because of it.
Well, and they still have 2 third-round picks, so that was an expendable pick, right? So,
Right.
they have a next year, they have a first round, a second round, and then 2 threes, 2 fours, and 2 fives. So they have 8 picks next year still, right? So they still have assets to move around on draft day and in the offseason and do anything that he needs to do. So this is why I will go on record and, you may never hear him say this, but I think Howie wants to be the greatest GM in the history of not just the NFL. I think professional
All
sports.
sports.
And I think he wants to be a Hall of Fame player or a Hall of Fame GM and be that guy in the Hall of Fame. And he's definitely on his way of doing that. He needs a couple more
Sure.
titles
Yeah.
under his belt and stuff like that, but I think he realizes, and the way he does the salary cap, he understands that you can rebuild while still contending. You know what I mean? So you don't
This is
have to
the
tank.
rebuild year. Yeah.
Correct. So you don't have to tank. You can rebuild while still contending. So, um, and I thought he handled the AJ Brown questions appropriately. He didn't come
Perfectly.
out and say that we didn't take offers. Like, he didn't say that I didn't listen, but he also said we'd be dumb to trade a guy of his talent. He has the C on his chest for a reason. We're a better team with him. Like what we've all said. I mean, they are a better team with him on the field, and their chances of winning back-to-back Super Bowls takes a dramatic hit without him
If
on the
he's
team.
not there. And
Correct.
like we talked a little bit even last week about a guy like AJ, he kind of needs to hear that. And I wouldn't
Yep.
be the least
Yep.
bit surprised if he comes in and just like whatever, I'm in a good spot now. I'm ready to go defend this title or do whatever I can to help the team or make whatever comment that he wants to give. But like I thought he handled it perfectly. Because he didn't lie. I'm sure there were plenty of teams calling him, and but to your point, he would be stupid to trade him.
Unless you're getting a first round pick and a starting receiver back, there's no way
Right.
you're making that deal, right? Because you're one bad hit on Devontae away from having no receivers at that point. So you need to have
Come on.
something, right? Yeah, well, yeah, it's just him though. So, but yeah, kudos to Howie. That's my 2 cents. I mean, he's on his way to being one of the greatest GMs in the history of the NFL. But and I think he's hungry for that. I think he's already said before this is his dream job, and it's showing. It's showing. He's
Yeah.
he's he's doing everything in his power to make this team great and make this team contend and win another Super Bowl. And he's doing it to set them up for years to come and be perennial contenders. So,
Plus,
shout
he
out to Howie,
bleeds
man.
for this city. I
He
bleed
does.
for this city.
He does, man. I'll tell you what, that was still a nasty knot on his forehead, dude.
It was
Nasty knot. Great shot by whoever threw that too. I
no
mean, to hit him right
scars
in the
either.
forehead.
Oh yeah,
No, I mean,
no
but yeah,
scars.
shout out to Howie. I'm glad he's our GM for sure. But look, it'll be the season will determine whether those moves were great or not, and that'll determine what his final grade will be. But halfway through the season, I give him a C plus. I think his offseason moves were you can throw Bond in there, even resign like restructuring Saquon and giving him the extension. You can give him that and then drafting Jahad Campbell, but putting all the faith in all the other guys that didn't pan out, it is what it is. Like he made the right moves. They knew it was a quote unquote rebuilding year. Here we are, right? And he adjusted for that mid-season. He made his halftime adjustments, and we'll see what happens in the second
I got
half.
an opportunity. I got to take it. Yeah.
Yep,
No,
yep.
and I mean, listen, I'm happy with what they did. I did not expect all three of those guys, but I mean, I'm very excited for Jalen Phillips only because Vic Fangio loves him. He flat out said he loves Vic Fangio.
Mhm.
and he's like, "I'm excited to get to work." And Michael Carter said the same thing. These guys want to go and play for a winner.
Do you see John Clark in the airport interview him? And when Jalen Phillips was walking away, he said, "Go Birds." That's what
No,
tells
I
me.
missed that part. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So, like, a lot of these players, you saw Jahad Campbell did it on draft night. N'Kobe Dean did it on draft night. You don't see a lot of these guys like understand that right away. So you knew Jalen Phillips probably got a call from Vic, and he already knew a lot about this stuff. And like the fact that
Mhm.
he said "Go Birds" in his introductory press conference when John Clark got him at the airport, that that sent chills down my arm, man, because
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
like
this
it.
guy gets it right away, and he wants to be a badass on the field. So
And kudos to John Clark for always getting the guys at the airport. I feel like he just goes and
they
stands there
call him
with a little
Johnny
sign.
Airport. They
He
call him
has like a
Johnny
sign
Airport,
with his
man.
name on it.
You don't think every time he's there, Big Dom's in the background. You don't think Big Dom goes, Johnny?
Yeah,
We're going to
I
be at
got you.
Terminal C. We're going to be at Terminal C, Gate 7. He knows exactly what's happening.
All right. Well, I mean, and honestly, besides the trade deadline, this team's getting healthier coming off the bye week. Nolan Smith's practice window's open. I mean, all along they said he would have been able to play last week, but they were on the bye. So, I mean, he should come back and be ready to play, which is going to be a huge upgrade. Everybody else with their nicks and bruises. The one spot they didn't address that I thought they would have was offensive line depth, but is Willie Lampkin ever going to get on the field? The dude that was
From the
injured in
Rams,
training camp from the Rams. I mean, his practice window has to be ready to open soon, I would think.
I mean, he was on the four. Him and Drew Kendall both were on just the 4-week IR.
Yeah,
So like they weren't on any longer than that. They could have came back already. So I don't know. I don't know. And Drew Kendall was a highly touted draft pick that could play multiple offensive line positions, and he's been banged up, and you haven't seen much of him. He played in the preseason. I remember that, but like
he
he was
did.
supposed to be another Landon Dickerson type that was a center but could play guard and all that stuff. So I think that's going to be the key moving forward because look, you have Fred Johnson as depth, but if you're using the sixth offensive line and having Fred Johnson be eligible,
You don't
that
have
you don't have depth, right? Because he's more susceptible to get injured that way. So, you got to shore up something. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about it with these practice squad guys. But you know, the other saving grace was the fact that last week, yeah, and again, it was the Giants, so I'm not overly confident that it'll happen every single week, but they were able to run the ball like that, and that was with Toth at center. It wasn't with
yes.
Cam Jurgens. So, that gives me a little reassurance too, and a little, I guess if you want to call it solace, right? It gives me a little something going into the second half of the season, knowing, all right, I think we're on the right track here. I think the offense got it rolling. I think we're good. I'm just anxious to see how they come out of the bye week.
Yeah. Now we'll get into that in a minute, but last thing from last week, good week, obviously from the trade deadline perspective and getting healthy, but around the NFL, it was a pretty good week for the Eagles who gained a lot of ground by not even playing. I
Yep,
mean, you
yep.
had
They
who I mean, the Packers lost, the Lions lost. I mean,
yep.
obviously Dallas, that was great to see on Monday night.
So can
Um,
I can I now that you brought them up, can I just throw this out there too? Like, what part of that game? And this is why I hope Jerry lives to be 205 and stays around. Because you get your ass handed to you by the Cardinals, who lost 5 straight games going into Monday
Jacoby
night.
Brissett.
Right. And your first instinct is to trade a first round pick for a defensive tackle. Um, that's your blockbuster move to make a wild card push. That's number one. Number two, that you know exactly what that was. That was well, shit. I have to do something because I traded Micah Parsons for two first round picks. So I can't just sit here and not do anything.
And sit
And
on those picks.
I traded for a linebacker who, by the way, I traded for the linebacker from the 32nd ranked defense in the league to help my 31st ranked defense in the league. Like, what are
And
we
didn't he
doing?
get benched? Like, didn't
Yes.
he wasn't he benched in Cincinnati and, like
Yes. Yes. So, look, I think Jerry is, Jerry has made a lot of moves in the past like year and a half for Dallas, so I give him credit. He's trying, but like you're handcuffed because you have $60 million tied up in Dak, and he's not
Right.
restructuring. And kudos to Dak. Why would you? If somebody's that big of an
No.
idiot to give you $60 million a year, why wouldn't
But if
you?
you were also making like, a good faith effort to try to make the team better, then just kind of being like the guy, like, I'm sure you've been in fantasy drafts where I had a guy one year who was drafting with the year before's draft book.
Yeah,
Like, he picked
yeah,
up the wrong one. He was like, "I got this for like $1. It's the greatest thing ever." And we're like, "Scotty, that's from 2006. This is 2007." Oh,
yeah,
man, and we didn't tell him until at the end of the draft, but I feel like that's Jerry Jones. Like,
yeah,
he's not, and, like, but I think Jalen at some point probably will restructure that contract to help
yep.
Howie be able to make moves because he knows how he's gonna make them and not be
He's going to do the Tom Brady.
reactive. Yeah,
He's going to do the Brady. What Brady did in New England for 15 years. He restructured his deal, and what Lane Johnson has done for the last 8. Restructured his contract
yeah.
every single season to you're going to get paid, you're going to get your money, but then it frees up cap space that you can sign 3 other people. It's just it boggles my mind that Jerry goes out and gets another defensive tackle when the defensive line isn't your problem. It's the other 7 people.
Right.
So, like, I love it as an Eagles fan. Keep him around forever. I mean, it's just it's laughable. But yeah, from an Eagles perspective, they not only gained ground, they regained the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. Um, but Seahawks look good, but it's still
I was
Sam
gonna bring
Darnold.
them up.
Yep, it's still Sam Darnold. The Rams look good, but Puka Nakua is injury prone. He
He
he can get
cannot stay
banged up at
healthy.
any he cannot stay on the field for a full game. And look, the Eagles are in their head. The Eagles have beat them the last 3 times they played them, 2
3
times,
times.
at the 2 times at home. Um but I just the Rams don't exactly scare me, but I know that they have a chip on their shoulder, and they'll come out and play whenever the Eagles play them. And look, the Bears are solid with picking up some solid guys on defense, but it's still Caleb Williams. He's still unproven, right?
Right.
So that's I know Ben Johnson's a guru of a coach and everything, but, like, I think it's too early for them to really take that next step. And look, the 49ers are always gonna get banged up, so I'm not really worried about that. We don't know who their quarterback's
No.
ever gonna be. Um, so the thing that does kinda put something in the back of my mind with the Seahawks is, they got Shaheed as a deep threat, right? So
Right.
could that help them? I mean, it might. I mean, JSN is already one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the league this year, with what he's doing. So I just what's their offensive line? What's their run game? I mean, and it's still Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold has to prove it in the playoffs to me.
And
So
he hasn't yet. Yeah.
no.
No, and I mean,
So
listen, I'm perfectly happy, perfectly fine with where the Eagles are, and I mean, at the end of the day, it was always gonna have to come down to the Eagles. The Eagles were gonna
mhm.
determine whether or not they got home field. So now the ball is in their court. What are you gonna do with it?
Yep. And look, I mean, I said this before, and I'm going to use a one of our good buddies who's a Mr. Knicks fan says, the only team that's beating the Knicks this year is the Knicks. So I think the only team beating the Eagles in the NFC and stopping them from getting back to the Super Bowl is the Eagles this year.
I agree.
As long as the Eagles play how they're supposed to play and play their game, I think they have everything lined up for them. And you're gonna see the measuring stick over the next couple of weeks, right? You play Packers on Monday night, then you got the Lions, and then you got the Cowboys in Dallas. 3 straight weeks, right? It'll be interesting to see how they stack up with that. Because look, we can say all we want about Dallas. Their offense is still usually pretty potent. It's just their defense can't stop a nosebleed.
Plus, it's a
So
division game, so it's not like they're gonna come in.
right.
I mean, you saw what happened when you take the Giants lightly.
Yep. Yep.
Like, they're gonna come out ready to beat the
Well, and
Eagles, and
the Eagles lately over the last like 5 years has not played well in Dallas. So,
No.
but I think Nick has them ready this year, and it'll be a different story. But yeah, the next 3 weeks will be very telling. If the Eagles come out of that 3-0 in the next 3 weeks, by far the best team in the league, by
Yeah.
far.
I
It doesn't matter.
I
It
would
doesn't
agree with
matter
that.
how it looks. It doesn't matter if they win 10-9 all 3 weeks. As long as they get 3 wins in the next 3 weeks, this is where the grit is in the rubber meets the road type thing. This is where grit matters more than flashy stats.
Right. And then I'm looking forward to that Buffalo game then. Like I feel
Well,
like at
that's
that point
yep, yep. That might not only be a Super Bowl preview, but that might determine who's the MVP of the league.
it could. You never know. It's the Chris
Yep,
Berman Bowl. He
there you
always
go.
picked the Eagles Bills.
Yep, yep. Because nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
All right. So since we did put them out there, we might as well go over the picks from last week real quick.
Mm.
Um, not good. I lost
Well,
both game picks. Um, Colts lost. That game wasn't as close as it was. The
I had the
Bengals,
Steelers.
you had the Steelers. Bengals should have won that game. Like, there's
Yep.
no way they should have lost that game. Um, but here we are. Texans, tough one for them.
Ugh, they were winning the whole
They,
game. They were winning the
I
whole
know.
game. I thought I was going to get. Thought I was going to go 2-0. I was real happy about it. But
And then your touchdown parlay, as many points as the Bengals scored, Jamar Chase did not get a touchdown there.
it's amazing, isn't it?
And I had T. Higgins on my bench once again.
And what's his name? The dude with the I name, like Isoshavich or whatever. Like
Yes,
if you pick him up off of waivers and play him, he goes like 0 catches, 0 yards. Then when he's sitting on the waiver wire, sitting on somebody's bench, he goes off for 80 yards and two
blows up.
touchdowns. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't. I mean, I'm 1-8 in that league. I benched T. Higgins, so I
Oh,
deserved
there
it.
you go. Yeah, the writing's on the wall then. Yeah.
I did get 2 of 3 of my touchdown parlay though. Josh Jacobs and Kyrie Williams.
There you go.
So I'll take that.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I had Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, and Tucker Kraft, and Taylor got shut out, Chase got shut out, and Tucker Kraft broke his leg basically. So
all right. So standings remain the same. 3-4-1. I'm hot though. That Eagles related. I'm hot. Not.
hoping
I
the
took a
bye week
beat.
cooled you off.
I took a beating like real betting last week because I mean I bet the whole thing and not one pick. I lost in the losers pool thanks to the Packers. Or no, it wasn't the Packers. Who'd I have?
Yeah, because you had the
It
Panthers
was the
losing.
Packers. I had the
Yep,
Panthers. Yeah.
yeah,
So I got
yep.
to spend money on a mulligan now. So it's just
Mm,
turn the page on last week and move on.
mm.
All right. So Monday Night Football.
Dun, 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 dun. Is there a better
There.
song, like a better intro than that? Like that's
No.
when we're in the stadium and like they play that over the loudspeaker, like when it's going on the air, like that just gives you chills, man. It's probably one of the most recognizable, other than the Sports Center, like
Yeah.
like the dun 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 dun
I
dun.
I
It's
miss the
great.
old Hank Williams. Are you ready for some football? Like that was
Yeah,
you
yeah.
knew it was a big day when you say, "Are you ready?"
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean, the Carrie Underwood Sunday Night Football is pretty good. Like it is pretty good. Like waiting on that day for Sunday night. Like
it's
you
not
sit
bad.
there like when the Eagles play on Sunday night and like they play the highlights and everything. It does. I'm not the biggest Carrie Underwood fan, but I get pretty hyped up. I can see it. I can understand why
I
they
can
gave
see
her all
it.
that money. Yeah.
She's no Hank though. She's no Hank.
No. 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 There's something nostalgic about that.
Yes. Well, I mean, so Tucker Kraft, that's a huge blow. I mean, he was their leading receiver.
Yeah,
And
and it's a huge blow to my fantasy teams across all my leagues because I had him in 3 of them. But yeah, dude, he's been a beast all year, so that's definitely gonna hurt their offense because you never knew what receiver they're gonna throw to. So Tucker Kraft was their guy across the middle. He was like the poor man's. I don't. It's probably disrespectful to him, but it reminds me of how like the Eagles used Zach Ertz that one year where he had over 100 catches or whatever. You know what I mean?
that
Like
was the year that Carson pissed everybody off
because he,
because that's
yeah,
all he threw to him.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's how Jordan Love has been. He's been throwing to Tucker Kraft every single week. Like he's been their leading receiver every week, basically. So that's gonna be a problem for them for sure.
It is. So, I mean, Jordan Love. Who is Jordan Love? I mean, I think if you want to talk about like not Daniel Jones having a going back to the old Daniel Jones last week, like he was playing hot, but like I wouldn't even put Jordan Love like on an inconsistent level with like a Kirk Cousins in his prime because Kirk Cousins was solid in the regular season. He just couldn't play on prime time and couldn't win a playoff game.
Yep.
Jordan Love can go out and look like a top 3 quarterback in the league, but then he can go out and like how he did against the Panthers, and he looked absolutely horrible against the
Mhm.
Panthers in that game.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Panthers are gritty. Don't get me wrong. Like the Panthers are definitely a gritty team. But I just they were 2 touchdown favorites. So like
Yeah,
there's no reason why that game should have been that close. But yeah, I just he's I guess that's what you want to say. He's just inconsistent when it comes to that. He has all the talent in the world. He really does.
yeah.
It's just he almost reminds me of a bad version of the combination of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre in Green Bay, right? Like he has that gunslinger mentality like Brett Favre. He has the talent of Aaron Rodgers, but he just can't put it all together any year.
No,
Um, and like
and he's done
we talked
some
to
games,
yeah, he's
but
he's definitely won some games and he's put together some great stat lines and stuff like that. So he's capable of doing it. It's just the stars have to align, and it seems like more often than not they don't. And like
no,
everybody likes to say that about Jalen Hurts. Like, oh well, can he win you a game? Is he going to put the team on his back and win you a game? Can he win a game like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? Can Jordan Love do that?
no.
I don't.
I would
I
trust Jalen over before I would trust Jordan Love.
1,000%, 1,000%. So you just never know what you're going to get from Jordan Love. That's the thing, right?
Yeah,
And I've seen him plenty of times in big spots throw those interceptions like Favre used to.
yeah.
Like where he tries to make a play that he can't, or that tries to make a play that he shouldn't, and squeeze a ball into his own and throws a bad pick. So, a little foreshadowing there for my keys of the game and stuff like that. But we'll talk about it.
We'll get that in a minute. So,
Yep.
how much we talked about this with the Rams, and they were open about it. They were like, "This is a revenge game. We want to go in there and beat them." I mean, they were celebrating on the sidelines until the field goal was blocked. How much does the revenge play in this? Do you think the Packers are still, since it was a divisional game, do you think they're still on the revenge kick, or do you think that they're past it? Because I think, not getting too far ahead, I think Detroit is coming into Philly the following Sunday night with something to prove, knowing
Hmm.
that the only reason in their minds the Eagles got to the Super Bowl was because they didn't have to go to Detroit, but they forgot you got to win your divisional round in order to get to the NFC. But we'll get into
Right.
that next week.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if there's such a big revenge factor because I think the revenge factor for the Packers was the wild card game last year, because of beating them in the season opener last year, right? So we played them twice
Right.
last year. So I don't know if that luster is still there. Now, I'm sure that there might be a little bit of a bulletin board material in there that LaFleur is doing with that team with some of those guys, but I don't know if it's as big as the Rams because, like you said, the whole Rams team came out and said it. But
Right.
and the Eagles kind of I don't want to say they dominated the Packers, but it wasn't as close of a game as
It
the
wasn't a
Rams game
close
was.
game. No.
No. So I don't know that there is. It might be in the back of their mind that, you know, I think the other deciding factor for me is the fact that it's in Lambeau and not in Philly. If it was in Philly, maybe it would be a little different as a revenge factor.
Right.
But since they're at home, maybe they're looking at it a little differently. So,
Makes sense. So what's the over under for tush pushes in this game? Or do you think Nick Sirianni's past that too? Like,
well, that's a funny stat. I mean, we looked at it all week. Josh Allen has more push touchdowns than Jalen Hurts this year. And the sad
yeah,
part about that Chiefs the Chiefs Bills game on Sunday was the fact that Romo couldn't stop like gushing over Mahomes and Josh Allen. It was disgusting how much he was like, "Oh,
It
well, look
was.
at this!" Like, and then they ran the tush push, and you heard like, "Oh, well, look at this great play by Josh Allen." Are you kidding me? When the Eagles do it, oh, this is a atrocity of the league, and this is a horrible display of football. Are you shitting me right now? So
And they weren't the
part of
only
me,
ones that ran it.
no,
Like, I saw
no,
multiple teams run the tush push last week.
yep, and
Not one
nobody
peep about
batted an
it's
eye.
hard to
Yeah,
officiate and
right. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody said a damn thing. And look, I think Nick is past that point because he's proven that he doesn't need it. He has.
true.
He's proven that he doesn't need
Yeah.
it, and you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I can definitely see them doing another Giant situation where it's first and goal
4 in a
from the
row.
two, and they run it four straight
Yeah.
times down your throat if they need to run it that many times. But you know, I think he's over the pettiness. I think he is. But who knows, man? Coming out of a bye week, there might be a few more wrinkles into the
A couple
tush
more
push
wrinkles.
lineup. Yep. You never know. You never know.
Before before we get into our picks, I have to mention this too because it was like the perfect example of flattery is uh, or imitation is the best form of flattery. How about the Bears pulling out the old Philly special too?
Yep. Yep. I saw that. I saw that. That's Ben
Caleb Williams
Johnson, man.
with
Yep. Yep.
yeah. And
Good
the
for
only
them.
reason I know it because I happened to see it when it was on the red zone, but I have DJ Moore got credit for a touchdown pass.
There you go. That's a 6 pointer. That's a 6 pointer.
I'll take
Unless it's in the league where they only count it as four.
No, it was in a 6 pointer league.
There you go. Good.
The
Good. Yeah.
four
Look,
point the 4 point.
I mean, Eagles coming off a bye. Sirianni's 4-0 off of bye weeks in his history. We touched on it last week during the bye week. That they've had good success since the Andy Reid era coming out of bye weeks. It seems like they having that extra week to prepare for a team really helps them. And look, this just goes along with what I've said all year that Nick Sirianni is the greatest Eagles coach of all time. You know, he's going to have those guys ready. I really believe it. I really
Oh, they're
believe it.
gonna
And they're going to be pumped up with all these additions and the fact that BG is definitely playing. I mean, that's going to get them hyped up. Nolan Smith's going
yeah,
to be back. He's going to be chirping in his ear, getting him going. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be real fun.
it is. And I mean, and I think I'm hoping anyway that the energy of these new guys kind of will rub off on the guys and kind of not that they weren't focused, but just kind of reassert that like, hey, this is a new year. Let's go after it. And maybe it's going to have a positive impact on AJ too.
It could, man. It could, and I'm looking forward to that. And just having BG in the locker room could have a positive impact on AJ. We haven't heard much from
Yeah,
AJ in the last 2 weeks. So, and
nothing.
look, he didn't post a cryptic tweet when he didn't get traded at the trade deadline. So I consider that a win.
That's a win.
That's a win in my book. Yep, yep. Chalk it up, man.
All
Chalk it
right.
up.
Yeah. Listen, I was waiting for it too, but
Yep,
like
same,
after
same.
Howie's interview, or yeah, after Howie's press conference, that would have been the perfect time to throw one out there.
Yep,
Maybe he
yep. And
did,
he
and he
didn't.
was like,
And
I'll
then he
delete
didn't.
this one."
Yeah, yeah. He didn't send it. Yep. Now if he even posted something, somebody would have caught it right away. Somebody's
Oh,
eyeing that up.
hands,
Yep.
yeah. Diana Rossini would have been all over it.
Oh, that's her job is to just stare at that stuff. Ridiculous.
What's your job? I monitor AJ Brown's social media.
Social media. Yeah, I wait for him to post something and then I make a big deal about it.
All
Dumb.
right, so how do you see this game playing out on Monday night?
Um, Look, I think the Eagles are the better team. And I think Eagles coming off of a bye. I know the Packers are going to be angry because they lost to Carolina in the way that they lost to Carolina. Um, but I think the Eagles are a better team. I think these additions are definitely going to help them. I think you touched on it earlier. They're getting healthy and they're coming off the bye week in a healthier spot. I have the Eagles winning 27-17. And I think the score is closer than what the game is. I think the Eagles are just from start to finish are going to prove that they're the better team. And I know it's in Lambeau and all that stuff, but the Eagles have historically played pretty well in Lambeau.
They
Um,
always have, even going back to the Randall Cunningham days,
yeah, they've just
minus
always, well, yeah,
minus Bryce Pop.
Bryce
But hey,
Pop.
Jim
Yeah,
McMahon finished that game out strong.
he did. He did. Shout out to Chris Nady, the Philly Jim McMahon. But
Well,
yeah, look, I think they win 27-17. And I think it's the score is a lot closer than what the game actually is. How do you see it playing out?
I think it's going to be close. I think Green Bay, because I was looking at it last week, was in Lambeau when they lost to the Panthers. The tie to Dallas was in Lambeau. I think they're a better team than what I think losing 3 games at home. However, I do think the Eagles, top to bottom, overall, are the better team. I think the Michael Parsons is probably going to be pumped up for this game, being that it's the Eagles and all the talk about will they trade for him and everything. But I just think the Eagles are the better team. I got it 21-17 Eagles. And I kind of
Okay.
think similar to you, I think the Eagles never trail in this game. And it's just we're gonna have to be up late to finish it out and watch it. It's not gonna be one of those ones where we can turn it off at halftime. But I think there's gonna be no doubt about it that the Eagles are the better team.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. I like it for sure. What do you got as your keys?
I
Three
mean, I
keys of
think
the
the
game.
first one, break out the new toys and let them see what they got. I mean, whether it's Jalen Phillips or Carter or whoever, BG for that matter, just play with your new toys. It's like Christmas, birthday, whatever. You got your new toys, break them out and go after Jordan Love. However that looks like, whatever you want, let those guys go after Jordan Love, but make sure you're containing and do your job, like we always say. But I think go after Jordan Love, especially knowing that you don't have Kraft there to have to kind of worry about in the middle.
Yep.
So go after him. I'd like to see keep the consistency on offense. Get up under center, maybe run some play action, but see what they take what they're going to give you. If they're going to load the box to stop Saquon, AJ and Devontae should have good games. If they're going to try to stop those guys, it's the Saquon show. So just remain consistent and just take what they give you. And then I think play discipline. I think they're going to be kind of coming out and they're going to be the crowd's going to have them fired up. They're the better team. So I don't mean no stupid penalties or anything like, or I mean, obviously no stupid penalties, but
Yeah.
I just mean don't give them chances. Don't make stupid throws. Don't do anything that makes them believe that they're going to be a better team. So just play almost like a clean game. Don't turn the ball over. No stupid penalties, and just do your job. Stay disciplined. And I know it's kind of, but I think they just got to come out. It's after the bye week and just we're the better team. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, mine are almost identical. I got 3 keys or the pass rush. To just continue to put pressure on him, but stay disciplined in that pass rush. Almost like the must rush that they were doing a couple of years ago. You know, when they
Yep.
had those 60+ sacks. Um, don't over pursue. I think that's what got Jalen Hunt into a lot of problems in the beginning of the year. He would over pursue. Jordan Love can beat you with his legs and keep plays alive with his
Yep.
legs. So you can't over pursue. Stay disciplined. Second key is to get Saquon going. And if that means the play action, then so be it. But I think you're going to see a lot of the 6 offensive linemen, Fred Johnson's eligible type thing.
Ready, Jay.
Eh, and I think you should. I think you should. It worked. And I look to see a couple wrinkles with that where they have 6 offensive linemen, but they run play action out of that set to keep the defense on
Yeah.
their toes. And the third key for me, man, is to just keep the offense rolling. The last 2 weeks, the offenses look good. They went into the bye week. Hopefully, that didn't cool them off. Hopefully, they come out and they're still continuing to roll, which I don't see that stopping, to be honest with you. It gives them a chance to get healthy, is what it does. So I think I think it's going to look pretty good. I think it's going to look pretty good.
I
I
agree.
don't have this in the score with the 27-17, but I could actually see them putting up 30 plus points um, because the
Wouldn't
offense could
surprise
roll.
me.
And if Saquon gets going, they're definitely going to put up 30 plus points. Um,
Yeah.
but you know that those are my keys. Who do you have as your fantasy stars?
I think player of the game, I'm going Jalen. I
Okay.
think this is going to be, he's had time to kind of figure it out. He's heard everybody talk about the relationship between he and AJ and all not getting along. I think this is where he makes he's never going to come out and say it publicly, but I think this is where he gets that Jordan mentality and is like, okay, I'm sick of you guys doubting me. I'm going to show you what I can do. And I look for him to be the player of the game.
Love it. Love it. I got Saquon. I got Saquon as my player of the game with a subtle nod to Fred Johnson, because I don't have him as my any fantasy stars or anything this week, but I do think this may be the week where Fred Johnson gets a big guy touchdown.
Let the big
Um,
man eat.
and if he doesn't get a big guy touchdown, Saquon's going to give him the ball, and he's going to get the big man spike in the end zone after a touchdown.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I've Saquon. I think Saquon's going to have a big game, and with Fred Johnson assisting in that. So I got Saquon with 2 total touchdowns. Um, I got Jalen with 2 touchdowns, and he's very efficient. So I don't know if he's going to have a perfect passer rating in this one, but I think he's going to be very efficient with 2 touchdowns. Um, Defense gets 2 turnovers against them, and you brought them up. The 2 new toys, either BG or Jalen Phillips, one of them gets a sack. And I'm going to go with AJ, 75 yards and a touchdown. I think AJ, they come out of the bye week. They don't force AJ the ball, but they have a game plan to get AJ the ball because they know getting AJ the ball usually means you win the game. And I think AJ comes away with 75 yards and a touchdown.
I like it. So I got Jalen 3 total touchdowns. I think because he's just the same thing. It's going to be efficient. Probably, I guarantee you one. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say this, but I think one of them is going to be a tush push. Just as much as you think Nick's over the pettiness, Nick's a petty kind of guy, and coming from another
Yep.
petty guy, if he has a chance to get a tush push, he's going to do it.
Yep.
I also like Saquon to go over 80 yards. I don't know about a touchdown. It depends on the pettiness of Nick on whether he's going to do that. I have AJ 80 yards and a touchdown, so
Okay.
I'm going to go even a little bit higher than yours. Um, I got Phillips with a sack. Like I think
Okay.
he's no doubt he's going to come out with a sack. Is that 1, 2, 3? We got the same amount.
Yeah. I got 4. You got 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have Saquon 2 touchdowns, Jalen 2 touchdowns,
Yep.
2 turnovers, the BG.
Yeah.
I,
So the defense, yeah. I mean, I put the defense all together. So 2 turnovers and either a
okay,
BG or Jalen Phillips
gotcha.
sack. Yep. And then AJ with
Perfect.
75 and a touchdown. You know what's going to end up happening? AJ's going to get 77 and a touchdown. We'll have to split it. We'll have to
Yeah,
tie it because it'll be in the middle. Technically, I would win because I stayed under and you went over, but we'll call it even if he goes
we're not
77.
not playing the Price is Right rules.
No, no. I think we'll just call that even. We'll be fair about it.
Sweet,
But no,
I'll
I
take
like
it.
it. I like it. Hey, we got the birds winning, and I really do think they're going to come out and kind of prove to the
Yeah,
whole league that hey, we're still the champs, and the the Super Bowl still runs through Philly.
and this is the time with the way the standings are. This is the time to just go on that run like they did last year.
Yep, yep. The bye week was perfectly timed, as we talked about last week, and it's going to be a long rest of the season. But last year they had the bye week after week 4, and they ran the table the rest of the way. So I like our chances right now. And, like I said, Nick's 4-0 coming out of the bye week. I don't see that changing. I think he's going to be
Let's
5
make
and 0
it
after
five.
Monday.
Let's
Yep.
make it five.
Yep. For sure. For sure.
All right,
Love it,
where
man.
can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at KyleMont16. You can catch me every Tuesday at the Clashing Conferences podcast. We're the members group. A lot of fun, man. We talk about all sports. I'm usually the sole Philly representative, unless we call in the big guns with Jim and even Greg every now and then. But I'm usually the lone Philly guy dealing with a bunch of New York and Dallas fans and even some Washington fans every now and then. So it's a lot of fun, and come check us out when you can. Uh, and then I'm usually the first one to respond to Mr. Jim Montgomery's trivia questions, whether I'm right or wrong. Usually I'm pretty right, but where can they find you and respond and see if they can get any trivia questions right?
At Philly Jimbo on all social media every Monday through Friday, this day in Philly sports history, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And I do want to give, before we sign off, a big shout out tomorrow. Well, depending, it won't be tomorrow, but today or yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever you're watching this, shout out to all of this year's inductees for the 2025 Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame induction class. From an Eagles perspective, we got Clyde Simmons going in. We got Jeffrey Lurie winning the Philadelphia medal for all of his contributions, not only to sport, but outside of the game. And then, of course, your Super Bowl 59 champion Philadelphia Eagles are winning the Pride of Philadelphia Award for exemplifying and bringing the whole region together.
It's
So it
awesome.
will be definitely a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a good one, man. It should be good. And shout out to those guys. Shout out to Clyde finally getting recognized for his contributions, man.
Hell yeah.
He's been near and dear to our heart for 30 years, but it's glad to see him finally get recognized.
You can't really tell, but he's one of those guys over there on top of the Brian Dawkins
There you go.
helmet. Him,
Starting lineups,
Randall, and Mike
baby.
Quick.
Starting
Him, Randall, and Mike
lineups.
Quick.
Can't beat it. Yeah, the Mike Quick one was always good. He was reaching out for the catch.
Yep. And the
Yep.
way I do it sometimes, the kids come in and mess with it, but I have Randall
Randall
cock
throwing to
back,
Mike Quick.
throwing
Yep.
to Mike like this with
Yep.
Clyde
Clyde
coming
Simmons
in
trying to
trying to go
tackle.
for the sack.
Oh, that's how we used to have them at home, man. That's awesome. That's good.
And I guess
Good
that's the
deal.
way to end it. All
Love
right,
it. Go
brother. We will be
Birds.
back next week as we look ahead to the Detroit Lions, hopefully recapping an Eagles win. But I can't see them losing this game. Not after the
No,
bye.
no, they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out fired up, and I'm sure Howie probably got them fired up with these moves. And if
Oh yeah.
if that doesn't if that doesn't light a fire under that team, knowing that the ownership, the Howie, everybody's all in on this team and what they think of you, that's got to be reassuring. And they may not.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll ask those guys this week, but man, that gets us fired up as fans. So I'm sure as a team, you're like,
Hell yeah.
damn, they're going all in for us. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Love it.
So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
All right. On that note, we'll see you next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Peace.
I hate cheese for a week. I'm not eating cheese.